the notice requirement provided for the open public meeting law has been satisfied. Notice was properly given, said notice having been transmitted to the Courier News, Star Ledger on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2018, as well as posting on the bulletin board in the city clerk's office. May I have a roll call, please?
Council members Good.
Present.
Councilman Hockaday.
Here.
Councilman Storch.
Here.
Councilwoman Tolliver.
Here.
Vice President Mills Ransom.
Present.
And Council President DeCrest.
Present.
Mr. President, we have a quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with His will, and to grant the light of His Spirit on all those who work for justice and peace. Amen. Amen.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 14, 2018? So moved, Council President.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. Clerk, are there any communications to report?
Yes, we have a communication dated May 31st, 2018 from Rebecca Williams, submitting her letter of resignation as councilwoman at large effective May 31st, 2018. Additionally, correspondence dated June 13th, 2018 from Adrian O'Mapp as the chairman of the Plainfield Democratic City Committee, submitting 3 nominees for council consideration to fill the city council at large meetings. Finally, correspondence dated June 14th, 2018 from the city council president, appointing Councilman Barry Good as the City Council Liaison to the Plainfield Advisory Commission on Hispanic Affairs. And that appointment is effective immediately, and that concludes communications.
Consideration of public hearing on second reading and final passage. MC Cook, Mr. Cook, please read MC 2018-16 by title and further certify that the ordinance has complied with all statutory publication requirements.
MC 2018-16 is an ordinance amending the schedule of salaries and wages adopted pursuant to Article 14, Chapter 11 of the Municipal Code of the City of Plainfield, New Jersey, 1971, and this is a salary amendment for the FMBA local. Motion recess.
Recess.
Need a motion to reconvene?
May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance on second reading and final passage, and if adopted, the ordinance shall be published as required by law. So moved. Need a second.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Roll call on MC 2018-16. Council members Good. Yes. Hockaday.
Yes.
George.
Yes.
Tolliver.
Yes.
Vice President Mills Ransom.
Yes.
Council President McCray.
Yes.
This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Mr. Clerk, please read MC 2018-17 by title and further certify that the ordinance has complied with all statutory publication requirements.
MC 2018-17 is an ordinance authorizing the sale of various city-owned properties less than the minimum lot size to the contiguous property owner who submits the highest bid, pursuant to NJSA 48:12-13 in its entire sequence. It is hereby certified that notice of the public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 23rd, 2018.
The floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak on this ordinance. Seeing none, may I have a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage, and if adopted, the ordinance shall be published as required by law?
So moved.
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Roll call on MC 2018-17. Council members Good.
Yes.
Hockaday.
Yes.
Storch.
Yes.
Tolliver.
Yes.
Vice President Mills Ransom.
Yes.
Council President McCray.
Yes.
This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Mr. Clerk, please read MC 2018-18 by title and further certify that ordinance has complied with all statutory publication requirements.
MC 2018-18 is an ordinance granting Title 39 jurisdiction to the City of Plainfield over roads and parking lots located in the property zone at 700-712 West 3rd Street, 214-216 Spooner Avenue, identified as Block 113, Lot 14.01. It is hereby certified that notice of public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 23rd, 2018.
The floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak on this ordinance. Seeing none, may I have a motion to close public comments?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage, and if adopted, the ordinance shall be published as required by law. So moved. May I have a roll call, please?
Roll call, MC 2018-18, council members Good.
Yes.
Hockaday. Yes. Storch.
Yes.
Tolliver.
Yes.
Vice President Mills Ransom.
Yes.
Council President McCray.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Okay, a total of 30 minutes has been allocated for the public comments limited to resolutions and ordinance being considered this evening. If you wish to be heard, please give your name and address to the clerk for the records. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. The floor is now open. Seeing none, we have a motion to close the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We now come to resolutions under legislative branch. Resolution R-205-18 has been separated into 3 resolutions appearing in the order as submitted by the Plainfield Democratic City Committee. As we consider each nominee, please indicate your votes accordingly, as the nominee with the majority will be the successful candidate. Mr. Clerk, will you please offer the resolution?
Sure, those resolutions are A. Eldon Armani, B. Alma Blanco, and R-205C-18, C. William Contreras. So first start with resolution R-205A-18, which is authorizing the appointment of Eldon Armani to fill the vacancy of council member at large for the city of Plainfield.
Can I get a motion?
Council President, I nominate Eldon Armani to fill the council at large vacancy.
Is there a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Just a comment. I understand that if we select the first candidate, then we don't have to go to the other 2. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I just want to make a comment. I think Mr. Armady is highly qualified for the position, and should he get it, I welcome him as the council member. But I think we have another qualified candidate, and that is Tony Contreras. And Tony also has the advantage of being a Latino, would be a Latino representative on the council. So the only way that I can express that by vote is to vote no on Elton. But in spirit, with you, Elton, should you get the nod, I look forward to working with you, and I think you are highly qualified and have great potential for this position.
Mr. Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Roll call on resolution R-205A-18. Council members Good.
Yes.
Councilman Hockaday.
Yes.
Councilman Storch.
No.
Councilman Tolliver.
Yes.
Vice President Mills Ransom.
Yes.
Council President McCray.
Yes, you have unanimous decision.
The vote was 5-1 in favor. And Mr. Armady has successfully been chosen by the City Council to fill the citywide at-large vacancy.
Mr. Armani, would you please come forward?
Wow.
Amati.
I state your name.
I, Elton Armati,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of
Councilman at Large
Councilman at Large
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Thank you.
Mr. President, do you mind me saying a few words? So I would like to, at this time, offer my congratulations to our new councilperson, Elton Armati. But I would also like to say to the other two candidates who I submitted, that it was my view that all of you were highly qualified and would have done an excellent job, whichever one of you was chosen on the city council. And so I take this as an opportunity for you to continue to be involved, because you are the kinds of individuals that we need as a city to work with the administration and to help us move the city forward. So although there had to be one chosen of the three of you, that doesn't in any way take away from either Tony or from Alma. I believe that both of you would have made excellent members of the governing body, and so I salute you as well and encourage you to continue to be involved in the workings of the city. And to Elton, Councilor, congratulations.
Mr. Clerk, will you please offer the remaining resolutions?
Resolution R206-18, granting permission for a street and sidewalk encroachment to Queen City 5 Walk / Mountain.
Is there any discussion? Councilman Tolliver? Dr. Day?
No discussion.
Good. Mr. Ahmad?
No discussion.
Short. Councilman Mills Ransom? Okay. May I have a motion to approve? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain?
Abstaining.
Resolution R207-18, granting fee waivers for the use of fields for various sporting events.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstaining.
Resolution R208-18, granting permission for a street and sidewalk encroachment and waiver of fees to Patricia Fields.
Is there any discussion? May I have a motion to approve? Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstain? Any opposed?
Abstain, sir.
Resolution R209-18, authorizing a fee waiver for the Toddler Learning Center.
Is there any discussion? May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstention, sir.
Resolution R210-18, granting advice and consent to the appointment of Alma Blanco as an alternate member of the Plainfield Planning Board.
Is there any discussion? May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstention.
Resolution R211-18, granting advice and consent to the appointments to the Plainfield Historic Preservation Commission.
Is there any discussion? May I have a motion to approve? So moved.
Mr. President, we would like to amend that resolution if it's possible, since the new councilor was elected as the new member of the council team. We would like to withdraw his name from this resolution and move forward with the nomination of Gail Smith Alexander.
Need a motion to amend?
Right.
I move that we amend the resolution by eliminating Elton Armadi's name.
Second. Second.
And
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay. Now, can I get a motion to approve your amended resolution? Moved, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any opposition? No, it's moved. Okay.
Resolution R212-18, granting advice and consent. To the appointment of the Plainfield Cultural and Heritage Commission.
Is there any discussion? May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
abstention, sir.
Resolution R213-18, granting advice and consent to the appointment to the Central Business District Advisory Board.
Is there any discussion?
Could we get the names of the the nominees who are here to stand up so we can see who they are?
For the advisory board only.
This is good. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. No, we got two.
Some advisory board members here.
Don't be shy. Thank you.
Can you just say their names?
Yeah.
Can you stand again?
Say their names.
Yeah, could you just pull out your names?
Felicia Thompson.
Dr. Dennis Steele.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? May I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention?
One abstention.
Resolution R214-18, granting advice and consent to the appointments to the District Manager Corporation.
Is Is there any discussion?
Could we get those people to stand and say their names?
Donna Albanese.
Maritza Martinez.
Jeff Spellman.
Alejo Alonso.
John, you were supposed to be on advisory.
That's okay. We'll get it.
Say your name.
John Barkley.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? May I have a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
One abstention.
Will the Corporation Counsel's Office please present their items for consideration this evening?
Thank you, Council President. There are two items that were previously discussed in closed session at our main meeting and are now for their vote this evening. First is a resolution authorizing settlement in the matter of Melissa Plum, workers' compensation matter, in the amount of $40,240. And the second item is a resolution authorizing settlement of workers' compensation matter of Jeffrey Plum in the amount of $49,790. Thank you, Council President.
Are there any questions from the council? Mr. Clerk, will you please proceed with the reading of the resolutions?
Resolution R-215-18, it's a resolution authorizing claims resolution and settlement of all claims in the matter of Melissa Plum versus the City of Plainfield.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
One abstention, sir.
Resolution R-216-18, authorizing claims resolution and the settlement of all claims in the matter of Jeffrey Plum versus the City of Plainfield.
May I have a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention?
One abstention.
Will the Department of Administration and Finance please present their items to be considered this evening?
Good evening, Council. Resolution R-217-18 is a resolution requesting authorization from Council to, sign up selected benefits to serve as the financial advisor for the two 457 deferred compensation plans that the city happens to have in place today.
Are there any questions from the council? May I have a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
One abstention.
Mr. Clerk, will you please proceed with the reading of the resolutions?
We've Director West has to finish presenting his resolution.
R-218-18 is a request of Council, for authorization to submit to the state, a request to establish a dedicated trust fund to receive donations for an entity known as the Plainfield Promise.
May I have a question?
Could we get an explanation of this?
If we are to receive donations from outside entities, we need a capability to take those deposits and down the road take action. So this is a request, that would go before the state to ask them to allow us to establish a dedicated trust fund. For instance, the city just received a check in the amount of $50,000, earmarked for the Plainfield Promise. We need to be able to deposit it somewhere, and it's dedicated for that kind of purpose.
Would future expenditures from, through the Plainfield Promise come before the council for approval?
It would certainly depend on the size of that, those disbursements, but I would think that council would certainly be made aware of every intention to expend funds around.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if we have approval, and if we only have approval for some, what's the threshold for approval? Or
If I could ask that, Councilman, any entering into any agreement would require council approval. So just because the funds are dedicated doesn't mean that council doesn't have the right as it does in any contract that's awarded, would have the approval before that money would be expended.
Thank you.
Right, the next one.
The next one is R 21918, and it's a request to amend calendar year 2018 budget to include a grant in the amount of $28,280, which we received from Union County for emergency services,
Questions?
case management, etc.
Any questions? Next.
R 22018 is a resolution where, before council requesting the ability to cancel and refund first half 2018 taxes due to an exemption. The impact is $3,394.05.
Any questions?
R 22118 is a request before council, to issue refunds due to overpayments in the amount of $13,758.33.
Any questions?
R 22218 is a request before council to cancel out the first half of 2018 taxes due to a disabled veterans exemption in the amount of $4,854.27.
Any questions?
R 22318 is a request to issue a refund due to a state tax appeal in the amount of $5,363.02.
Any questions?
R 22418 is a request before council to apply and accept for a grant for emergency food and shelter in the amount of $32,000 to help prevent evictions, provide emergency food, and other emergency kinds of services.
Any questions?
One question, Council President. How is that amount determined?
It was really in conversation with the county. They earmarked for certain things the amounts. It's not like we made that number up. We got some advice from the from the county in terms of what we would be eligible for.
Thank you.
And it came to $32,000.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
R 22518, there was a request before council to apply and accept a grant, from Union County and its homeless trust fund in the amount of $210,000, for the administrative and supportive services for the homeless. $50,000 of that amount would be used to offset salaries so that we can provide case management services.
Any questions? May I have a motion to approve the resolutions? So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
One abstention.
And just to be clear, those resolutions were identified as R 218-18 through R 225-18.
Yes. Okay. Will the Department of Public Works and Urban Development please present their items to be considered this evening?
Mr. Council President, members of the council, it's a pleasure to present Resolution R 226-18, resolution authorizing the rejection of bids for the Mill Campbell Tennis Court Improvement Project. With two bids that were well above the number that we anticipated coming in. We had an engineering estimate was $100,000 less, so we want to rebid it. We believe we can get a better number back.
Any questions? Next.
Resolution 227-18, resolution can I skip that and just go through mine and that's economic development, sorry. Is it okay, Mr. President, to continue on and come back to that?
You talk. Let her talk.
Good evening, everyone. The resolution is for Netherwood Village, which is a 107-unit affordable family and senior project currently in Plainfield. This resolution supports the need for ARBOC affordable housing to go in for low-income housing tax credits to make improvements to the property. And the improvements are about $5.4 million in improvements. And they would be applying for HMA financing next year. The improvements include bathrooms, kitchens, general interior, common areas, and site improvements in terms of the parking lot and all those particular items.
Any questions?
Yeah, yes. If they do get this application approved, is the city obligated to give them a tax abatement or extend their tax abatement?
Yes, usually with HMA financing, there is a request for a tax abatement.
Could you explain what the financial implications would be for the city? Would it change anything?
I don't have that information at this time because we don't have a tax abatement application before us from them, but usually with HMFA, it is coterminous with the length of the financing.
Mr. Sanchez?
So, Council President, Council Member, just to clarify a little bit further, the city is not obligated to give a pilot. However, we most likely will entertain a pilot application, and based on the finances, based on the strength of the project, and based on the financing from HMFA, we will determine and make a recommendation whether or not that project deserves a new pilot or an extension of the existing pilot. But that's a process that we will entertain once they have been able to secure the financing, and once we have been able to review the financial documents of the new entity that is being proposed to buy and control the facilities.
There's currently a tax abatement on the property, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's a affordable housing project, so there is a pilot currently within the property.
Okay, so it would be helpful to know, if they were approved and if we grant a new abatement, would that change their pilot payments? Would it increase them, decrease them, or would it stay the same?
Again, once we have the financials and the new performance, if the financing is granted, then we will be able to determine that amount. And at that time, we will review it based on the current standards and current market conditions of the site. We're not going to be guided by previous pilot agreements or agreements that are extended. We will review it.
You'd have to come back to us with a new pilot?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. This is just a resolution of support so that they can apply to HMFA for the potential financing.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. President, I want to say at this time, so that the residents know what we're talking about the property that is now vacant that once housed several units of housing owned by the Plainfield Housing Authority. And
It's a different one, Mayor. It's a different one, Mayor.
my apologies, I'm talking about a different project. Okay, thank you.
President, Resolution 228-18, resolution authorizing memorandum of understanding between the City of Plainfield and the Home First Interfaith Housing and Family Services, Inc. This is for the transitional veterans housing at the Dudley House.
Any questions? Okay.
Resolution 229-18, resolution requesting authorization and approval to enter into an agreement between the City of Plainfield and the County of Union to utilize Cedar Brook Park to host a concert and fireworks display as part of the Independence Day celebration in an amount not to exceed, and Mr. President, this should be amended to reflect $7,087.35 from the $6,784.75. Due to the fact that we had to change the concert hours to 5 p.m. It was originally at 7 p.m., but to 5 p.m. for 5 cops to monitor at $60.50 per hour. So that comes to another $302 over the number.
Any questions? Okay. Next one.
Resolution 230-18, resolution authorizing the application and execution of a grant agreement with the Union County Arts Grants Program to the Senior Citizen Services Center for the period of January 1st, 2019 to December 31st, 2019 for the initial amount of $5,000 for senior services.
Any questions? Okay.
Resolution 231-18, resolution authorizing lien placement for the cleanup of 15 properties totaling $9,511.93, City of Plainfield.
Any questions?
Resolution 232-18, resolution authorizing escrow refund for 4 payees totaling $3,500.
Any questions? Mr. Clerk?
Yes, you need a motion to approve resolutions 226-18 through R232-18.
May I have a motion to approve the resolutions?
So moved, Council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any opposed?
One abstention, sir.
Okay. We now come to ordinance on first reading. Mr. Clerk, will you please read ordinance MC 2018-19 by title?
Resolution MC 2018-19 is an ordinance amending ordinance MC 2017-04, which authorizing the 5-year exemption and abatement granting tax exemptions for certain improvements, conversions, and constructions of multiple dwellings, industrial structures, commercial structures, all within the city's rehabilitation area, to add a
Are there any questions from the council?
Yes, Councilmember, explain that to me, please.
Yes, what this amendment does, it charges an application fee for filing the 5-year tax abatement application. For those applications that are totally handled by the tax assessor, there would be a $1,000 application fee. For those applications requiring council approval, that would be a $5,000 application fee. These fees would cover the administrative cost of processing the applications.
Thank you.
Are there fees now for that?
No.
So is this practice in line with what other municipalities are doing?
Yes, it is definitely in line with other municipalities of charging an application fee.
Ms. Tolliver? Mr. Hamadi?
No questions.
George?
Yes, this is the ordinance that affects the vacant, newly developed property across the Netherwood train station. What's the, yes, the name of it? The Sumo project, thank you.
Well, that property in particular, that went through the process already. So this was a ordinance that was approved in 2017. And if you recall what we were trying to do at the time, it was give an incentive to business owners, commercial property owners that have mixed-use facilities to encourage them to be able to improve second and third floors, especially in our downtown area. So this is just amending that particular to include the application fees. Any new construction, as is stated in the ordinance right now, will continue to be the same. That's the $5,000 fee, and any new construction that is applying for the 5-year tax abatement will still have to come to City Council, from City Council, to request those 5-year abatements.
So I have a question about Sumo development, which I could ask now, or I could defer until the end of the meeting.
Please defer.
All right.
Councilman Mills Middleton?
Just one additional question. Do you have any belief that the cost of this will defer or discourage investment in Plainfield?
No, I do not believe it discourages investment. And again, for those who are like homeowners or 2 families, it's a lesser fee, which is $1,000, and that's usually handled in its totality by the tax assessor. But for new construction, the fee is $5,000 for new construction. And there are other towns that have application fees.
Any further questions? I will now entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
So moved.
I need a second. Second. May I have a roll call?
Council members Armani,
Abstain.
Good.
Yes.
Hockaday.
No.
Storch.
Yes.
Tolliver.
Yes.
Mills Ransom.
Yes.
Council President McCray.
Yes.
This ordinance is adopted on first reading.
Mr. Clerk, will you please read ordinance MC 2018-20 by title?
An ordinance authorizing the execution of a financial agreement with Elwood Square Urban Renewal and granting a tax exemption with respect to certain property commonly known as 518-78 West 2nd Street and identified on the city's tax map as Block 235, Lot 10. This is MC 2018-20.
Are there any questions from the council? Councilwoman Tolliver?
None.
Councilman Hockaday?
None.
Councilman Good? None. Councilman Ahmadi?
None.
Councilman Stewart?
Yes. We've been waiting for this project to move forward for quite some time. It's really an important project for us. Could we just get an update on what's happening here, I think for the council's sake and the public's as well?
Okay, in terms of this particular project, it's a partnership between Premier Community Development Corporation, which is a subsidiary of the Plainfield Housing Authority, and the Albert Group. And they're developing a property that's been vacant for at least 5 years. They're proposing 58 units of housing on the property, and it's an affordable housing project. And the total cost of the project is $17.5 million. And in terms of the Albert Group, I have personally worked with them on a number of affordable and market rate projects in the Oranges. And the Albert Group works throughout the state. They've done this type of project before. They're very good at it in working with the Housing Authority. And they're applying for 9% low-income housing tax credits, which is the most competitive that the state has to offer. And they're applying for a 30-year pilot associated with that. And we will realize $40,000 in the first year, and over the life of the project, about over $1.5 million. And again, I personally can vouch for the work done by the Albert Group.
Further questions?
No, but I wish all of us and the Housing Authority a lot of luck with this project. It would be really good for the neighborhood.
Mayor?
Yeah, Mr. President, this is the project that I thought I was talking about earlier. So, as we know, this property, the land had been vacant for several years, and we are very serious about bringing transformative change to all parts of our city, but the Fourth Ward in particular. This is a project that needs to get done, and so any incentives, any encouragement that we can give to this developer in order to make this project happen, and happen as soon as possible, would be a great thing for the city, and certainly will continue the development that we've seen in the Fourth Ward. So I encourage the council to support this.
Councilman Ransom?
No, I'm just happy to see it. I haven't been a housing commissioner before. I'm happy to see it.
Okay. I will now entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
So moved.
All in favor? Roll call, please.
Council members Army,
Yes.
Councilman Good,
Yes.
Councilman Hockaday,
Yes.
Councilman Storch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tolliver,
Yes.
Vice President Mills Ransom,
Yes.
Council President McCray.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance is adopted on first reading.
Mr. Clerk, will you please read bond 1264 by title?
This is bond ordinance 1264. It's a bond ordinance providing for various 2018 capital acquisitions and improvements by and in the city of Plainfield and the county of Union, state of New Jersey, appropriating $4,158,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,400,000 bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof.
Are there any questions from the council? Councilwoman Tolliver?
None.
Councilman Hockaday? Councilman Good?
No, sir.
Councilman Armity?
None.
Councilman Storch? Councilman Bill's answer? No. I will now entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
So moved.
Second. May I have a roll call, please?
Roll call on bond ordinance 1264. Councilmembers Harmony,
Abstain.
Councilman Good,
Yes.
Councilman Hockaday,
Yes.
Councilman Storch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Tolliver,
Yes.
Vice President Mills Ransom,
Yes.
Council President McCray.
Yes.
This bond ordinance has been adopted on first reading, and a public hearing on all these ordinances will take place at the next combined meeting, which will take place on Monday, July 9th, 2018.
A total of 60 minutes has been allocated for all public comments to be presented. If you wish to be heard, please give your name and address to the clerk for the record. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed will be limited to 5 minutes. The floor is now open.
Good evening, Alma Blanco, 928 Grand Avenue, Plainfield. Just wanted to again thank the mayor for considering me and giving me the opportunity to represent and serve the people. I respect the decision of the council, and I want to congratulate Elton Armarty, our new councilman at large. I look forward to working with the council and the mayor towards the Plainfield One future. Thank you.
All right, Alma.
John E. Pritchard, formerly of 723 Arlington Avenue, Plainfield, now 42 minutes 44 West Holly Street, Cranford. Tonight, I wish to congratulate the council on supporting our military personnel. Our sons and daughters will serve in our Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Air Force. But there's more to be done. They're still serving us, and unfortunately we failed them during the war in Vietnam. We lost 16 men during those years. With that, I urge the council to continue to support our sons and daughters who are serving as soldiers, sailors, Marines, Coast Guard, and airmen. The poor brave soldier and their spies, nor count him as a stranger. Remember who's his country's stay in day and hour danger. And secondly, we need to reactivate Muhlenberg Hospital. We need that hospital, we need it badly. I believe I've been informed when I was at the Township Committee meeting in Cranford that part of Muhlenberg will be kept as part of a medical thing. That's, I believe it must be true, but if it is, that's a start. But there's a lot to be done. We need that hospital, we need it badly, and we need it ASAP. What if there's another 9/11 attack? We'll need that hospital very badly. And let me get this straight. The sooner we activate Muhlenberg, the better off we all would be. Don't make myself clear.
Yeah, John. Good evening, Council. Norman D. Muhammad, 33 Western Avenue, Plainfield, New Jersey. First, I'd like to begin by saying I commend the mayor for having the foresight, the vision to include the various names that he included that be up for selection for the vacant seat for a council person at large. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate Elton Armandi. I have worked with him personally on the state legislative offices of the late Assemblyman Jerry Green. I can attest for your good character and your work ethic. And also like to congratulate the other two nominees for their willingness to serve our community. There's a quotation from scripture that says, "He too much is given, much is required." And I say that because being selected to serve the city of Plainfield in capacity at large, much is required.
because it's a position that much responsibility is given. And I believe, Elton, that you have the character, the fortitude, and the willpower to proceed in a positive manner. But buyer beware. There's going to be some tough decisions you have to make because you serve the community at large. I looked on the wall and I seen the various portraits of the various mayors from Job Mail all the way up to the late Frank Blacks, Paul O'Keefe. And all of them had something in common. They all looked alike. One Plainfield is a vision and it's a concept of the merit that I embrace. But we have to take it beyond just a concept and a vision and be inclusive with all the residents of the city of Plainfield. So with keeping that in mind, I says I support the mayor and the vision 100% with the One Plainfield, but also says that One Plainfield includes all 4 wards. And as far as the West 2nd Street project, better known as the new projects, unfortunately, when they demolished it, it was 200 units. Now, I hear it's only going to be 58 units. I like to see that we get affordable housing for the other residents that make up the difference and deficit in that number. And with that, I'd like to say congratulations, Elton, and welcome to the council. But remember, he too much is given, much is required. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Flor Gonzalez, 410 Washington Avenue, but I come to talk about 2 important points. Number one, for a long time, we have been asking to do a study for rent control. Many of the business that is living, they're living because the owners of the buildings charge a lot of money for rent, a lot of money, $2,000, $9,100. So sometimes if the business don't sell enough to pay rent, so the business had to get out. This is a problem that we have for a very long time. And I think we have sleep on it, but it's very important that we look and decide where we're going to go with that rent control. Because we have good business, and sometimes the business cannot afford it to pay rent. They invest a lot of money into the business, they buy equipment, they beautify the place, and at the end they have to go, and who really benefit is the owner of the buildings, not really the tenants. So it's very important. And I want to talk on behalf of, I want to talk about the Housing Authority. I was the chair of the Housing Authority, and I was commissioner for a long time. And I think that this program is a long due. I understand about the units being shown or less, but we was having a lot of difficulties with that units when it was too many people. We was having a lot of drugs. We were having a lot of problems there. And now hopefully that is going to be a new units. Hopefully the applications for people that is going to rent could be look at it carefully. I strongly recommend that probably the chief of police or the safety director could appoint somebody to also look and see the people that apply. That way we can have a good tenants in that area, and we can, if we're going to build something, a housing, can be a housing for everyone, for children, that the children don't be intimidated to go around and play. If you all recall, we have a lot of children in that area when it used to be I forgot the name, Garden, I believe. And we was suffer as a commissioners because we want to do and see the best of the Housing Authority, show the government that give us the money for the Housing Authority that we worked it. And that's where we were suffering to try to see how we do. And we always asking, we was asking always the chief of police in that time, Chief Santiago, to help us, to make us more safe neighbors around. That way we will keep it. So I congratulate the Housing Authority that they want to move forward. And I also recommend to be in detail the application, and hopefully the director or the chief of the police can be involved to look at it carefully, those applications, that way we can put out good people. And finally, I do applaud the new council member. Congratulations. I hope that you understand something. We are in it together, okay? It's not just one community, you and me, it's us. So we have confidence in our mayor, and that's why we as a Hispanic community, from my side, we always support him. So we support what he decided to do, and therefore I remind you, we are in it together.
No more for public comment. Can I get a motion to close public comment?
So,
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Mayor, would you like to say something?
Yes, Mr. President. Just two quick points that I want to make. One concerns the city. I thank you for adopting the two resolutions, one for the Management Corporation, one for the Advisory Board. It is important that as we continue to work at bringing economic development in our city, working in partnership with others, that the actions that you took some months ago that led to the appointment of these two new boards, that's extremely important, because we need entities that will work in partnership with the council and with the administration. And so if we're to continue to bring the changes that we want to see in our city, we need a board or boards that will work with us. And so I am very grateful to your support and to the volunteer spirit of the new board members, and I congratulate you. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. The next point I want to make has to do with something that was said by Ms. Flor Gonzalez. I'm often asked the question about rent control, and that's a point that she just made. And I want to let everyone know that I do believe in the laissez-faire concept, let market forces dictate and drive what rent should be. I don't believe in an intervention type policy when it comes to pricing. And so I believe in free trade, and if we are to attract developers in our city, we must let market forces dictate what prices people pay for goods and services. And so I just want to put that on the record, and I thank all of you, and again I congratulate the new councilor, and hopefully we'll be hearing from him.
Council President, I just wanted, based on some of the comments, just clarification. The Elmwood Gardens project was not, it used to be 120 units, it was not over 200 units, like it was mentioned. And part of what they do it, and with security and safety, the staff has been meeting with the developer, and part of the agreement is that they're going to have a connection with the police department. The project will itself have security cameras, and we will have control and be able to view those units at all time. This project also includes upgrade lighting throughout the project, so that we can secure that. And as far as the police or the staff, we cannot dictate who is going to be going into those units. That's all based on the management team that is going to be in place, and it's going to be dictated by income levels. So that I just wanted to clarify that. But we will have security cameras that will be monitored by our police department.
Can I have a motion, please?
Sir, if I may, I just have a lot of thanks to give today. To the mayor, I want to thank him, number one, for putting my name forward. He had a lot of confidence and believed in me to do that. And putting me up with Tony and Alma, I know, I'm grateful to have been considered with them. To my council colleagues, I thank you guys for having confidence in me to serve with you. I hope to the residents of the city of Plainfield, I can do the best that I can to deliver and serve. I have a lot of thanks to give my parents for always believing in me, my twin sister Becky, she's here, my best friend Susie and her husband Tim, my good friend Ashley Burke. I got Mr. Ron Scott Bay, I got Sean McKenna, Robin Bright, I have Mr. Rand, I have, I'm sorry, I got Mary Johnson, but I had to thank everybody that was here today. Mr. Tolliver, thank you all for coming. I look forward to serving this city the best that I can. Thank you guys so much.